Ever seen a class so bloated it basically runs the entire app? Yep, that's a God object. The unholy beast of bad code. Sorry, I couldn't resist. It starts small, then eats everything, and worst of all, you might be creating one right now. Welcome to the channel, let's understand this mess. Picture this, you join a new team, they tell you, we have a central class that handles most of the logic. You open the file, 4,000 lines of code, dozens of public methods, hard-coded SQL queries, JSON passing UI logic, all in one place. One innocent change, and half the app is broken. That's the real cost of a God object. No separation of concern, no testability, no clue how it even works anymore. But what's the worst part? It doesn't start this way. How a God object sneaks into your code.
Deus, precor, latenteri nunc codicem intro eas.
Not what I meant. It starts small. A single class, a harmless little helper, then suddenly it's doing everything. And honestly, it happens the same way every time. A little bit of logging in my code, a little bit of caching down the road, a little bit of queries in the mix, a little bit of UI just for kicks, a little bit of helper feels just right, a little bit of manager late at night, a little bit of everything, here I go. Now my class just runs the whole damn show. Congrats. You just made a God object. Here's the actual progression. Number 1, let's keep it simple. One class to rule them all. Number 2, we just need to log this. No harm in adding one method, right? Number 3, might as well handle caching here too. It's already touching everything. Why not? Number 4, okay, now it's just a bit big, but breaking it apart seems like more work. Number 5, wait. How did we get here? Now you're debugging a 4,000 line monster, and every change is a potential Codebase extinction event. And once a God object forms, refactoring it feels impossible. So if your class is named Manager, Helper, or, God forbid, Utils, you might already be in danger. Red flags. Is your code becoming a God object? Does this class have more than 10 responsibilities? Be honest. Is it calling too many other objects directly? Would breaking it apart feel impossible? Does touching it fill you with existential dread? If you said yes to any of those, congrats, you have a God object problem. And if you think, I'll just refactor it later, guess what? Later never comes. Let's say we have a user manager class. This class does way too much. It talks directly to the database, it logs actions, it sends emails, it probably has even more hidden responsibilities. And the worst part, the more we add, the harder it gets to change anything without breaking everything. Where do you even start? Good news, you don't need to rewrite everything. Start with 3 key fixes. Step 1, identify core responsibilities. What should this class be doing? What shouldn't it? In this case, user manager is actually 3 different things. It does user storage, database operations, it does logging actions, and it does email notifications. Time to split it up. Step 2, extract smaller classes. Let's separate user manager into user service and notification service. Now we have clear responsibilities. User service handles users. Notification service handles emails and logging. That's easier to test, debug, and extend. Wait, what if you go too far? Ever seen a code base with 50 tiny classes, each doing one thing? But now reading the code feels like flipping through a choose-your-own-adventure book. Yeah, over-engineering is real. Tell me about it. Balance is key. So, where's the sweet spot? The rule of 3. Keep your classes clean. Try this. A class should do one main thing. If it's doing 2, start thinking about a refactor. If it's doing 3, it's already too much. But don't break a class just to follow rules. Always consider readability first. Fixing a God object isn't just about clean code. It's about sanity. God knows we all need a little bit of that. Pun intended. It's about not fearing your own code base. It's about writing something that won't make future you hate past you. But knowing a God object is bad doesn't fix it. So next, we're going hands-on, step by step. breaking one down the right way. So you found a God object in your code. Great! Now what? Do you refactor it all at once? Slowly break it down? Or just pretend it's fine and hope no one notices? The last option will come back to haunt you. Let's fix this mess. Step 1, don't panic. Assess the damage. Before you go full delete everything and start over, take a step back. Ask yourself, what does this class actually do? Write it down, you'll be surprised. What dependencies does it have? Does it know everything? What breaks if I change this? Because something will break. Take this user manager disaster from last time. Why is this a nightmare? Too many responsibilities, database, logging, email, too many dependencies. This class touches everything. It's impossible to test. Mocking this? Forget it. Step 2, break it down. One responsibility at a time. Here's a rule. A class should do one thing and do it well. We need to extract 3 responsibilities. Number 1, user logic should live inside user service. Number 2, logging and emails should go to notification service. Number 3, orchestration should go to a facade pattern. The first step, move user data into its own class. Now user service is responsible only for user data, extracting notifications. Now let's remove logging and email logic from our old God object. Now logging and emails are handled separately. Step 3, introduce a facade to glue it all together. At this point you might be thinking, great, but now my code has too many moving parts. This is where a facade pattern helps. Now we have separation of concerns, more testable code, smaller reusable components. Step 4, testing, because you don't want this to break. Old user manager tests were painful. Let's see how easy they would be now. So unit testing the user service. Now user service is tested without worrying about emails or logs. Wait, what if breaking apart a God object creates another problem? Too many dependencies. Now every class has a constructor with 5 or more dependencies. Solution? Use dependency injection. Spring and juice, goose. I should have looked this up. I have no idea how to pronounce it. Whatever it says here, let you auto-write dependencies. No more manually passing everything around. Rule of thumb, when is a class too big? More than 3 dependencies? Refactor. Too many public methods? Something's off. If your class name is manager, helper, or util, you already know. Refactoring a God object isn't just about clean code. It's about sanity, testability, future-proofing. Because trust me, future you will thank you. And if you've ever been stuck in a 4,000-line nightmare class, you know exactly why this matters. So don't let it happen again. Have I ever done this mistake? I remember I once designed a system using the actor pattern, and my entire design revolved around one God object to do everything. So yes, I admit, my name is Karel. I am a recovering God object creator. It's been over 10 years now since I created a God object.